a wonderful family who generously offered to share their experience with you to help you get some insight into that. So I'd like to introduce Lindsey. Her husband Chris is also here, and they are the parents of the most adorable child in the world, Grant, who's not here this evening. They're taking some adult time today. But Lindsey, come on up and share your story for us.
Hello, I'm Lindsey, and being here tonight, speaking in front of a large group of strangers, is something I never thought I could do, more like my worst nightmare. Despite not wanting to be up in front of all of you, I'm happy and proud to have this opportunity to share the story of the most amazing person I've ever met, my son, Grant. He can't be here tonight to tell it. He's only 3, and he's at home, hopefully sound asleep. So tonight, I will channel my inner Grant and gather the strength and bravery I can find to give you a glimpse into his journey and take this opportunity to thank some of the people who have helped him and his family along the way. I'm a wife. My wonderful and supportive husband, Chris, is here tonight. I'm a mom of 3 awesome kids. Our house is full of love and an abundance of energy. In 2017, life was great. We got the amazing news that I was pregnant with our 3rd child. After a typical healthy pregnancy, our baby started showing signs of slowed growth the month before his due date. Being the optimist that we are, my husband and I tried not to panic. After being diagnosed with intrauterine growth restriction. It's usually benign, my OB told me. But once we got home and on the internet and saw that it could indicate serious issues with the baby, it was hard not to be concerned. Because the baby's condition worsened, I was induced, and Grant Edward Baker graced the world with his presence on August 5th, 2015. I remember just being thrilled to hear a baby crying as they put him on my chest. My elation soon turned to concern as Chris immediately noticed a problem with his hands. No doctor knew what was wrong. During our stay, different specialists were constantly in and out of our room. Grant seemed okay, but we knew there was a problem. How serious the problem? We had no idea. After discharge is when all the appointments began and the reality of the situation hit. Specialist after specialist, test after test. It felt like every specialist we saw sent us to another specialist, and every test led to another test, never getting any real answers. Soon Grant started to get sick. Not sick like my other 2 children. Sick to the point where it seemed like he was constantly needing to be hospitalized. Sick to the point where he wasn't growing at all, despite my tireless efforts. He was too weak to eat and ended up having a feeding tube placed. His eyes were constantly infected, and there were days he couldn't even open them. As his baby teeth came in, they quickly decayed and literally crumbled out before my eyes. He had surgeries that needed to be done, but he was too sick and too weak to even talk about them. There's absolutely nothing in life more terrifying than having a sick child and no way to help them. He was a complete mystery, and we lived in the medical center of the world. How did no one know what was the matter with our baby? In July of 2016, we were seen by Dr. Nowak in the Feingold Center. She recommended moving forward with a genetic test called whole exome sequencing. Despite no guarantee of an answer, we were thrilled to have an opportunity to find one. On January 10th, 2017, we had our appointment for the results of the testing. I was incredibly nervous. I knew a diagnosis could be life-changing, for better or for worse. As the findings were read, I burst into tears of joy. My boy was going to be okay. As she was listing the symptoms of the results, it was like having the pieces of this messy puzzle being all put together. It may sound strange, but the day Grant was diagnosed with LADD syndrome was the best day of my life. Despite fewer than 100 people in the world being diagnosed with this syndrome, Dr. Noah helped us find the best specialists to help Grant become the happy, healthy, and thriving boy he is today. Dr. Nowak and the Feingold Center made it possible to create a clear path of treatment when before it was like wandering lost through the dark. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, supporting such an amazing cause. The Genesis Fund and the Feingold Center doesn't only help improve children and families' lives, it changes them. It changed ours, and I am forever grateful. Thank you.